Welcome back to Earstravagant Adventures. I'm Rachel, and along with Abby and Mackenzie, we're your devoted guides to the captivating worlds of Disney, Universal, and beyond. Tune in every other week as we uncover a universe of wonder and cherished memories. Welcome aboard, fellow adventurers. This week, we're recapping the brand new holiday event, Jollywood Nights at Hollywood Studios in Walt Disney World. But before we dive in, how about a word from our sponsor real quick?
Yeah. This episode of Earstravagant Adventures is proudly sponsored by Wave of a Wand Travel, your go-to experts for family theme park vacations. Whether you're dreaming of exploring the wizarding world, embarking on an enchanting kingdom adventure, or discovering underwater paradise, Wave of a Wand Travel has you covered with their insider knowledge and hidden gems. Say farewell to the stress of trip planning and embrace a journey filled with joy, laughter, and wonder by reaching out to a Wave of a Wand Travel agent today. Visit their website at www.waveofawandtravel.com or give them a call at 201-401-5378 to let the magic begin. When it comes to family theme park travel, Wave of a Wand Travel is the trusted name that turns your dreams into reality. Now, let's immerse ourselves in enchanting tales and unforgettable moments on Earstravagant Adventures.
Yay! Thank you, Wave of a Wand. And I did a TikTok today with some girl math because my travel agent, well, me, saved me money on my vacation. I got a ticket to Jollywood Nights and Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party.
Ooh.
Yeah. But for the sake of today's episode, we are just talking about Jollywood because it is brand new. And I know we get a lot of questions about it. So this episode is strictly Jollywood Nights, and then we'll do a recap of everything else. But we wanted to have the standalone for a reference for all of you guys for the future.
I can't wait to hear what you thought about the event.
I'm
There's been
excited.
a lot of feedback.
There was drama leading up to your going to this event. Not you personally, just the online community.
Yeah.
Of Disney lovers.
Yeah, so Jollywood Nights is, like I mentioned at the top, a brand new event that is at Hollywood Studios. It is an after-hours event, so that means it starts after the park closes. So for this one, it starts at 8:30 and it goes until 12:30. And it was kind of not geared. It was marketed more towards adults, and I would agree. It is more adult just because they have more adult-ish entertainment. They have live band. Even the show that they created was more like adults would get it more because they had like commercial breaks and stuff, and like kids aren't going to understand what that is, but the adults will be like, oh, that's funny. So it's more for adults, and it's Hollywood Studios, which I think we all are in agreement that Hollywood Studios is the best park for Christmas decorations, especially at night.
Hands down.
Yeah.
My favorite.
Always.
Yeah. Yeah. So vintage vibes. It was great. It wasn't really what I thought it was going to be, but to be fair, I did have basement level expectations based on the first night where the lines were crazy. You couldn't get anything done. To get in was horrible. Like the first night was a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
So
can we back up before we go into that?
Yes.
So let's talk about how it was marketed. So what did we think it was going to be?
I thought it was going to be more glitz and glam Hollywood, and the biggest, so like the Tip Top Lounge at Tower of Terror, that was exactly what I thought the event was going to be. The singer was in a beautiful vintage dress, had the nice classic microphone. She was even singing that era Christmas song. So like that was very much the vibe I was expecting. Even the stage show with, like I mentioned, the commercial breaks, it was like an old time special on TV. Like that was also that. But then if you met the Fab Five, they were in like pajamas. So that was kind of confusing because the characters have tons of outfits and they weren't with the vibe of the party. So that threw me off. But the Tip Top Lounge, we skipped Brown Derby because we didn't have enough time. But Hollywood Brown Derby, like all of that was very much vintage Hollywood vibes. And that was, to me, how it was marketed.
Where could you meet the Fab Five? Was it at the Tip Top Lounge? No.
No. So the Tip Top Lounge was in the courtyard of Tower of Terror, and we all know that's a very small space. So the only thing there was some cocktails and the band, and then of course you could ride the ride. The character meet and greets were scattered throughout the parks, and I think they changed it from the first night to when I went. So the Fab Five was in like the Disney Junior courtyard area by the Star Wars thing, launching pad, and then Duffy, Phineas and Ferb, Santa Duffy, Phineas and Ferb, and Powerline Max were around Echo Lake. Pinocchio and Jiminy Cricket alternated, and Stitch were on either side of the stage in front of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. And then Snow White, Dopey, and Mary Poppins and the Penguin alternated by the Muppets.
You know, it's funny.
Unique set of characters.
Yeah, there's so many characters, which was what I was just thinking to myself is when, to go back to your question, Mackenzie, when it was marketed, there were no characters in the pictures. Like Mickey's very merry. Like it's when they, put out the advertising, there's pictures front and center of Mickey. His name's in the event. I definitely thought this was going to be like old glamour Hollywood vibe. They didn't explicitly say it because, only one thing comes to mind at Disney that doesn't include kids, but didn't explicitly say. I was thinking you were looking more at like teenagers, who wanted to get dressed up, and adults.
And it did say the marketing was also like, come dressed to impress.
Come dressed to impress. I was thinking, you'd see a lot of like gowns and like people looking like they were going to like, the Oscars in the 50s and 40s and like that sort of time period. And I guess, in my mind, I'm like, I guess I should have figured there'd be characters because this is a Disney after hours event.
I expected characters, and I was going to be really disappointed. I thought there was going to be more unique characters. And I should also mention Frozone and Edna Mode were also out, but five of those characters were added after the fact.
Right. I was going to say, I know they heard that feedback and they needed to disperse people, right? Because like a lot of the lines were long. Adding more characters is like catnip for us, especially rare ones.
Yeah, and to your point about dressing up, there was a solid mix of people very dressed up, people like us that were moderately dressed up, and then people that weren't dressed up at all. And that kind of tracks. I feel like it the more you dress up, the more fun it is. So we had a lot of fun in our outfits and got a lot of compliments, and but there were people way more fancy than us. So that was cool. But being marketed as to come out and dress up and show out, like that I really liked. And people for the most part like did in some shape or form, which was nice. Mm-hmm.
Was there something in every part of the park, or were there parts that were closed off?
We didn't go back into Galaxy's Edge or Toy Story because we didn't have time. And we can talk about that for sure. But those areas were just normal. They didn't have anything special in them. The rides were open, but they didn't have any characters and stuff back there. My biggest frustration was one of them, the rotating characters. That was irritating. We were 2 people away from meeting Mary Poppins. She left her set 2 minutes early, and we could not see her again because there had already formed a line behind us. And if we had gotten in that line, we would have wasted an hour of a 4-hour event. So that was very, very, very frustrating. And that was, I've already emailed Disney and gave them my feedback in a very nice way. But that was one of the things, like, I get you that characters have to step off, but when they rotate, the person they rotate with, I might not want to see, but now I can't get back in line because I've just dedicated 30 minutes to this. And now I'm going to just waste all that time. So you really should have these characters maybe step off for 10 minutes and come back.
Yeah, I agree. And also, like, they have already solved this on the cruise lines. Like, if you try to get in line for a character, and they usually line up the characters back to back, like, they'll say, like, hey, this person's the last person that's going to meet Mary. Everyone after this is going to meet Stitch or whoever's coming out. So they already have a solve for that. It's great.
Well, they did that. And they said to us, you may or may not.
But that's
not. But I'm like, okay, well, you may or may not, then I might. And we would have if she didn't leave 2 minutes early.
Right. It's got to be definitive.
Yeah. And also, like, you have enough space and you have enough demand. Don't double up characters. Have a line for this, a line for that, a line for that. like they did with Santa Duffy and Phineas and Ferb, and you know, those, it was only them. So why couldn't you do it for these? So that was frustrating. To get in, let's talk about to get in. We had park hoppers, so we did not wait in the line to get wristbands, and we arrived around 7:30, and I would say there was already at least 150 people in line to get wrist.
You're talking about like the designated ticket only, not park hoppers. Okay.
Right. So you could get into the party at 7 or 7:30, I forget, but you can get in not super early like Mickey's Very Merry, but you could get in early. So these people were already starting to get in, get their wristbands and all that good stuff. And I saw that line. I said immediately no. We went in the park hopper area, the normal guest entrance, and then we went in the back by Muppets to where it's in the in-park distribution. And that went really, really fast. It took us like 3 minutes. They give you a wristband, typical after hours wristband. They also give you a lanyard, which made no sense to me. So Alonzo ended up wearing it because I'm like, what am I doing with this? They're checking my wristband. I don't need this. The lanyard had a PhotoPass code on it though. So I think that might've been what that was for, because PhotoPass was included with the event, but I have PhotoPass already and you use your Magic Band. So I was very confused by the lanyards, and it was a big lanyard. It was one of those like big passport size ones. So I just threw it in my bag because they were checking the wristbands. And they gave you a map, which was nice. The map was reprinted. So the reprinted map had the new characters on it. It didn't tell you who it was. The ones that were announced with the party, they were on there with numbers, but then additional Mickey heads were added without character names, but at least you knew where they were going to be. So that was nice. But yeah, logistic wise, it was like, I'm not doing this line. I'm glad we got there early though, because we did one photo pass by Echo Lake with the Christmas tree, and then we got in line for Duffy. Duffy did start meeting at 8 instead of 8:30 when the party started. So technically, we only waited in line for 20 minutes because we saw Duffy at like 8:50. So we only missed like 20 minutes of the party, which was fine. And his line was kind of like that throughout the night. I think everybody from walking by and just seeing everybody had a 30-minute wait until 11 o'clock. Frozone had nobody. He was in the back of the park though. Edna had nobody. Everyone else did have like 30-minute lines, but those two, they didn't have anybody. So we met Frozone because there was nobody there.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm very personally excited to hear about the snacks and the entertainment, but I also want to know, because this is a question I'm being asked, if any of those snacks or drinks were included with the price of your ticket.
No. And this was the other very big disappointment. So number one, it's about the same price as Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. So just so we know, so around like $159. It's an hour shorter than Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, and nothing is included. So no
popcorn, no nothing.
No popcorn, no ice cream novelties, no soda, nothing. And a lot of the influencers were posting that Gertie cookie. So I thought maybe the Gertie cookie was included because it was a holiday. No, you have to pay for that toothpaste flavored cookie. Nothing is included. So part of my feedback was, if you're going to have this be the same price as an after hours event, every other after hours event has something included. Even the regular non-themed ones, you get popcorn, ice cream novelties, and soda.
Yes.
Those carts were open. So there's no reason you couldn't have had that included, because the drinks, the food, everything cost money. It was good though. Like I had the mistletoe cocktail, fantastic. I had the
where could you find that?
So the mistletoe cocktail was at Fairfax Fair with the turkey popover. Turkey popover was good, solid Boston Market quality turkey, but the cranberry sauce was great. The Tip Top Lounge was too long, so we didn't try any cocktails there. But we did go over to ABC Commissary, which had the Latin food. So I had the yuca fries, great, with pork belly, great. The birria taco, great. My friend had the elote, she loved it. And then I had their mezcal old fashioned, knock you on your booty strong. So that was nice. So the food was good, but you had to pay for it. And we didn't do, like I mentioned, the brown derby, because I'm not wasting an hour of my party time sitting at a restaurant that, yes, has food that you can't have any other time, but a restaurant that's always there. So we totally skipped that. But yeah, a big bummer is nothing was included. But like I said, we had really low expectations. So all of our expectations were exceeded because we were expecting longer lines. We were expecting more crowds. We were expecting the food to be terrible. So all of those things weren't as bad as we thought. Yay.
Did
The
you
way
go
to
on a
go.
weekday, did you say, or a weekend?
It was a Wednesday. And the reason we picked that one was because there was going to be a DVC member event in the event. So I've been a DVC member for 15 years. I've never been able to do anything DVC before ever. It was cute. They had the reindeer and the toy soldier as a meet and greet.
Mhm.
And that was great. I've never met the reindeer or the toy soldier, and they're super cute. So we met them, and it was like a 10-minute wait to meet them. And they gave us a gingerbread Rice Krispie treat.
Great.
Great. And that was in the Lightning McQueen area.
I'm glad that you enjoyed it definitely more than you thought you would.
Yeah.
And part of me is like, great, that's the way to go in. Expect nothing. But then when I think about the price of the ticket, you should be expecting something, I think.
Well, so on the flip side of that, yeah, I stand by my comment of I don't really recommend this party unless they add more and make it longer because it's too expensive for what it is. I had a good time. It was way less crowded than Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, which we will talk about eventually, but it was way less crowded. I felt like there was enough space to move around the parks. The rides had walk-on wait times to do the rides. The only thing that really had waits was to meet the characters and the Tip Top Lounge drinks. So in terms of that for after hours, it was great. But to charge what they're charging and not include anything, no. Right. No.
Any sort of nighttime show, parade, any other like entertainment like that?
Yeah, so we talked about the entertainer at the Tip Top Lounge. She was great. Her name was Rachael, so obviously I'm biased, but she was fantastic. The show that they did at the Beauty and the Beast Theater, it was made specifically for this party, and Piggy and Kermit were part of it, but they weren't like the whole thing. Belle came out, Tiana came out, Mickey and Minnie obviously came out. It was cute, it was fun, and they had 2 human hosts, and they were lovely. That was great. It was like a 20-minute show maybe, so that one was really good. We completely skipped the Nightmare Before Christmas sing-along because I have zero affinity for Nightmare Before Christmas, and I'm not going to waste my party time doing something I don't want to do. So
I can't believe that. I can't believe it feels right up your alley.
I know. So we totally skipped that, but I've heard okay feedback about that, so I'm not really sad that I missed that. We did stay till the end to 12:30, and we watched Jingle Bell Jingle Jam, which was an old fireworks show they used to do pre-COVID, and it was fun. It was a great way to end the night. It wasn't crowded at all. We walked up 2 minutes before showtime and got like right in the front. It has lasers and Snope and fireworks, and it's cute. Perfect way to end the night. So the only thing I think could be added would be a parade. I think a parade would add a solid entertainment option to it. I don't understand Nightmare Before Christmas. It didn't fit the vibe at all. That one was just so weird.
What is listen, I love Nightmare Before Christmas, but like we've already decided that lives in Halloween, right? Like I understand that, the plot of it is Jack wants to I love it. That Jack wants to celebrate Christmas instead of Halloween, but we've already done that, right? So like, and you have him out at the Halloween parties, he doesn't get to go here too.
Right, and it's not vintage Hollywood. Because at least the show that they created at the Beauty and the Beast Theater, like that one was vintage Hollywood. This is
Kermit and Piggy fit right in my opinion. I feel like that's perfect.
Fit right in, and there needs to be more Muppets. There needs to be more Muppets in general, please.
Don't get Abby started. I forgot.
More Muppets.
I'm not going to get you started because I don't agree with you, but that's not for the point of Jollywood. I thought they were cute. I thought they were a cute addition, but like I said, Nightmare Before Christmas, it didn't make any sense. It felt like they were reaching for entertainment, but they could have just done a cavalcade or a parade and it would have been just as good. So
I just feel like, did they use like any of like the street atmosphere? Like remember like pre-COVID, like I feel like that would have been like a great option.
Well, they had the Snope.
Okay.
They had the Snope.
A lot of it. We were like choking on it, but like I
mean like
no, they didn't have the
like,
entertainers though.
The
No.
entertainers. Yeah. I feel like
Which
they would
the
be
people,
perfect.
the citizens of Hollywood, they're
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, they could have added some nice ambiance, but did they even hire those guys back?
I don't know. I feel like I've seen a couple, but
Okay.
not as much as like.
Well, for
you've
sure, not
seen.
the Main Street people.
Mhm.
R.I.P. Yeah, that would great point because they are vintage Hollywood. They would have been amazing, but no.
Yeah.
No. They did have a lot of PhotoPass photographers out, and they had PhotoPass photographers with all of the characters. So that was great because, sometimes that's hit or miss. So having PhotoPass, well, I guess that was included. Having PhotoPass included was nice. Overall, like, there's not much I would change, but what I would change would make it more worth the price. But right as it stands right now, I don't think I'd pay $150, $160 for that again. And to be fair, I probably won't do Mickey's Very Merry either because that I didn't feel like was worth it either.
Interesting.
Had you done that before? This was your first time at both. Well, obviously Jollywood, it was the first time.
Jollywood, yes, that's the first time I've done that. But Mickey's Very Merry, it had been a while. I've done it before, a couple times before, but I haven't done it post-COVID. So I wanted to revisit it, and we'll have another episode on that.
So Rachael, all that being said, do you think that we were correct in our assumptions that this is better for older kids, teenagers, and adults, or do you think this is like still fun with the inclusion of characters for small children?
Well, the characters are always going to be good for small children, but a lot of it is, and I've always said this about Hollywood Studios in general, it's an older kid park anyways, because Rock and Roller Coaster, Tower of Terror, those are bigger roller coasters and those were open, but the entertainment skewed more older. The kids will, like, as Disney always does, any age is going to be entertained, but yes, it definitely was more geared towards the older demographic, which I appreciated. It was nice to have an after hours event that was slightly more geared towards adults. I appreciated that. Yeah.
And I know you didn't go back, to Galaxy's Edge, but was Rise of Resistance, was it up and running?
Yes.
Was there a line? What's the situation with lines in the park? Were we using Genie Plus? Was it?
Well, Genie Plus, as we know, is not available during parties, so you did not have access to that, but everything had a 15-minute wait or less.
I did see that Rise had a virtual queue, didn't it?
I don't think so because we didn't do it, but we met a couple people who had ridden it like 3 times.
Yeah, I think they go to standby at after hours now. Guardians of the Galaxy, I know, is the same way for the Epcot after event for the race, which was nice because there's not even a standby queue at Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, Tron was virtual queue for the party, but no. One person we met rode Rise of Resistance 3 times in a row, rode Toy Story Midway Mania 3 times in a row. Yeah. So if you want to ride, go to Hollywood Studios for the rides, like, yes, Jollywood is great for that because everyone's doing the party specific stuff. So people aren't really doing the rides and there is like no wait. We were going to do Slinky Dog, but we ran out of time. So we didn't do Slinky Dog.
So how would you tackle the party if you were going to do it again?
Well, like all parties, you definitely have to have your priorities straight and what you want to do. So for us, no surprise to either of you, I had a notes app with the things I wanted to do, and I had them in order of priority. So for us, it was the characters, the Tip Top Lounge, and the show. So we did Santa Duffy because we knew he would meet earlier and his line would just get longer. So we met him first. Then we did the Tip Top Lounge, got food, saw the show. So we did everything except for Ride, Slinky Dog, and Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Those are the only 2 things that we did not have time for. But we got everything else done, and there was like 15 things on our list. But yeah, it's a lot. But we had everything in order, and we kind of knew based on feedback from other parties where the lines would be the craziest, and we knocked those out first, and then it just got better throughout the night. But you have to have a plan. You can't just, well, you can, but I don't think you'll get as much done if you just show up and you're like, let's see what we want to do. No, you need to make the most out of this expensive party. You have to have a plan.
And what were the top, like, if you had to pick the 3 best things you ate or drank, what would they be?
The mistletoe cocktail, because that one was really good. It was elderflower, cranberry juice, and I think something else, but it was heavy on the elderflower, which I love. And the yuca fries with pork belly was a surprise hit. It was really good. And the birria taco was great. So like the Latin food was great. The turkey popover was fine. Like I said, it's like Boston Market turkey. Like it was fine. But that birria and the yuca fries,
Did you have any misses? Things that were just total losers?
No.
That's my next question.
No.
Good.
To be fair, I didn't eat the Gertie toothpaste cookie, which I
like
knew was a loser.
You don't even like the cone that everyone's obsessed with, the cozy cones, the toothpaste one. So
sorry. So no, because we had kind of looked at all the menus and we kind of knew what we were going to like. And well, the only miss was the mezcal old fashioned, but that's just because mezcal can be a polarizing flavor. But that's mezcal.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you like mezcal, maybe it was great.
Yeah, exactly. I think it would have been a great cocktail for that. But I liked all the food. Shocking. And I think I already mentioned the crowds weren't bad at all. So that was a nice pleasant surprise. And then just last thing, just chat with your travel agent about Jollywood Nights, and they'll help you come up with a strategy that works for you, because maybe you don't want to meet characters. So then instead of characters, you do the shows and then go do the rides, because as we all know, when you do the rides later in the night, the shorter the lines get anyway. So there's lots of different ways to do the party. For us, it was characters entertainment that was a priority. And like I said, we did everything we wanted to do, but ride the 2 rides that are there all the time. So pretty successful. I just wish it wasn't as expensive as it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I think your tip about having the park hopper and skipping the, front of the park queue to go get your wristband in the back is a really great tip for people to remember. And if someone was looking to go, I mean, by the time this, debuts, I'm sure the parties will be over, because I think the last one's on the 20th, but I think there's tickets still available from the remaining parties, right?
Totally sold out.
Totally sold out.
That's what they said, but they were selling tickets the day of the party. So I don't know.
Well, ask your travel agent about that too, and all the other after hours events, right? Like we're coming up on the new year, and they've already put out dates and rates for the Epcot after hours, and I'm excited about those.
Yeah, because Mickey's Very Merry for sure is completely sold out. But the after hours, the general after hours events, those are great. I've done a few and I love them. But I also stuff my face with popcorn and ice cream and ride every single ride possible. So you can't have a bad time when you're stuffing your face with popcorn and ice cream.
It's true. It's really hard to have a bad time.
It's like a fact.
Saturday sold out, the 18th and 20th. If you wanted to go to the last 2, you could.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. We've got 2 party nights left, and if you're fine with the price tag, you'll have a good time. I think that's kind of the moral of the story. Like, if you're fine with spending that money, you'll have a good time. Yeah.
Okay.
So reach out to your travel advisors at Wave of a Wand, and they can coordinate all that for you, because you can still make a last minute trip to Disney. Or if you already have one and you don't have a Jollywood Nights ticket, let us know. We're happy to hook you up. But I hope this was helpful for Jollywood Nights, and I hope to see it back next year with changes, but I hope to see it back next year.
And magical enhancements.
There we go. Our favorite word. Well, tune in next time, because we're going to talk about Mickey's Very Merry and all of the holiday entertainment. But until next time, have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.